hello there. It's Mariella, and we are back with season 3 of Productive Introvert Community Podcast, a space for tired, introverted solopreneurs who want to take control of their life with calm confidence. For the past 2 months, I've been doing a little experiment. I decided to take a 2-month break from work during summer vacation. It's been an ambition of mine to take off longer periods of time, and this year I decided to test out this idea. To be clear, I didn't take off work completely. I continued to work with my private coaching clients, but I reduced my workload elsewhere. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. I'll give you the bottom line first. Things didn't go exactly according to plan, and it was a bit of a different experience than I expected. But I did learn a lot. And in today's episode, I'll share with you what I learned about time management and energy management from taking 2 months off work, and specifically how you can manage your time and energy as an introvert when there are drastic changes in your rhythm. First of all, why worry about energy management or time management skills at all when you're taking time off? Well, if you're like me, or most of my clients, you probably have a bunch of things going on at any one time, and your work is just one of those things. Some people I know are caregivers, or they have kids or 4-legged family members to take care of. Maybe you're looking to start your own business or to grow an existing business. There's hobbies, personal interests, creative interests, people you want to stay in touch with, and especially if you're an introvert, there's also the tricky subject of taking time for yourself and managing your energy well. So even when we take time off from our main business, other things still continue in the background, right? All of this takes energy. Learning how to manage your time and your energy effectively is important, whether you're working full-time or not, so that when you do actually take time off, be it shorter or longer periods of time, you can actually recharge yourself mentally, creatively, and also physically. For me, my main business is coaching, but I'm also a parent to a 4-year-old. I'm co-founder of a local writers network. So like many of my clients, I can be working up to 15 big or small projects at a time. Oh, and then we also want to sleep, have some alone time, spend time with friends, family, your partner. Oh yeah. If you're still wondering why time management skills are important, I invite you to make a list of all the things that you're involved with on a weekly basis. And ask yourself, are there areas where you'd like to improve? And perhaps have more time and energy to spend on other things. So, taking a 2-month break from work, taking long periods of time off, it wasn't something that I ever thought would be possible for me. When I worked in academia and as an editor and writer, the best I could imagine was taking an unpaid sabbatical, someday, once I'd proven myself and climbed the corporate ladder. But it has secretly been a dream of mine to take a longer period of time off and to be able to do that every year. So when I started my coaching business in 2020, I knew that was one of the things I'd work towards. And this year, 2023, was the first time I took this step. I decided to approach it as an experiment. And my main question was, what do I need to have in place so that I can take off 2+ months a year while my business continues working without me? At the moment, I'm a solopreneur and I don't have a team or assistants to help me. I don't know if I ever will. Right now, I have no plans to change that. So I didn't want to wait to explore this idea until I had help. I wanted to know what it would take to make it a reality right now. And what can I learn and take with me if and when my circumstances change? Step 1 was to reduce my workload. So like I said, I didn't take off work fully for this first experiment, but I made 2 main changes. I took a break from the podcast that you're listening to right now. We closed last season in mid-July, and you're now listening to the next season that was published in mid-September. And the second thing that I changed was I reduced my working hours from 26 hours a week to about 8 hours a week. This came to about 1 to 2 hours a day or 2 half days a week. Aside from that, I continued working with my private coaching clients, and I planned to continue my other activities for my coaching business as well. Things like posting on social media, and I was even excited about testing out a few new ideas, like diving into YouTube Shorts for the first time. What went well and what didn't? In a nutshell, except taking care of my private clients, I didn't do any of the things I planned. There were no social posts, no YouTube Shorts. I even struggled to keep up with my weekly newsletter. And for the first time in about 3 years, I actually skipped one because I forgot. I forgot to send it. There you go. What happened? Okay, this may be a sensitive topic. It feels a little bit sensitive. My policy is that we can still talk about things that are a little bit sensitive or that may feel a little bit awkward or uncomfortable. The truth of the matter is that I completely underestimated summer vacation with a 4-year-old. I was solo parenting for most of that time. I just underestimated how big the demand would be on my time and my energy to spend 24 hours a day with a toddler, with no daycare, no school. Thankfully, my husband and my parents-in-law have been supportive. My husband taking care of him after work, and my in-laws taking our son out for an outing once a week. So thankfully, I had help. Still, the majority of that time we were spending just the two of us, and I just underestimated it. Bottom line. And it wasn't anything in particular. If you've spent any time with a toddler, you probably know that they just never stop talking. And for me, as a sensitive introvert who gets easily overstimulated, this was really, really demanding. And I felt like I had no energy left at the end of the day. Like hell, sometimes at the beginning of the day, right? I had nothing left in me. So what have I learned about energy and time management? This may seem a little bit unexpected, but I want to share it because this is something that a lot of people deal with, and we usually deal with this in private and rarely talk about it with other people. Introverts, we spend a lot of time in our heads, right? Planning and thinking through things, reflecting. This is a very natural part of how introverts process information. This is very, very normal. If you've ever thought through 150 different scenarios for just one thing, then you know what I'm talking about. So when things don't go according to plan, this can activate the inner critic. That's that little voice in your head that likes to point out all of the things that you're doing wrong. For me, the inner critic initially also got activated. My inner critic would say things like, you're weak, or you're a terrible parent for not being able to, quote unquote, handle your own kids. A lot of introverts have a very strong inner critic. This little voice can be very aggressive and very negative. A lot of introverts beat themselves up for not doing the things they said they were going to do and feel guilty and embarrassed. We end up either forcing ourselves to do all the things anyway, and this usually leads to completely depleting your energy and burnout, or we decide that it's not worth the effort anyway, only to feel even more guilty for procrastinating. So you can end up in an internal fight with the inner critic, and this takes up a lot of energy. It's one of the reasons why introverts can feel so tired all the time, and they can end up in these negative thought spirals. So the inner critic is normal, not just for introverts, by the way. Also extroverts have them. And most people I speak to experience this internal dialogue and this internal struggle on some level. In my coaching system, we take time to understand the strategies that the inner critic uses and practical ways to calm down that negative voice so that it's easier to take action and feel that sense of calm, confidence, and trust in yourself. Using the same techniques that I teach my clients, I was able to set guilt aside and kind of reapproach the situation. Instead of forcing myself to dive into the world of YouTube, I gave myself the space to kind of think about that in the background and just planned a lot of fun activities to do with my son because we were spending all day together anyway. And that was exhausting and very nice. I have no regrets. And that's one of the things that I learned for next year, to actually spend a little bit more time on those fun activities and planning those out, because that was actually really enjoyable. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might find it helpful. Next week, I'll give you a few examples of habits that help me to manage my time and energy, and some pointers about what you could try out in your own life. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for your attention, and let's talk again next week. Thank you for listening to the Productive Introvert Community Podcast. If you're an introverted entrepreneur and you're ready to thrive in your own way, then connect with me on thefrankermessage.com/contact.